Tonight on Best Bits, Phil Rowe and Orange Lucer have a bar fight. Malcolm Wellmaker extracted Chris Montino's soul with a right hook from hell. And the Oscar goes to...
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 And the Oscar goes...
And the Oscar goes... And the Oscar goes to...
Rodolfo Bellato. This was a contender for worst card of the year. I think so. Honestly, the card dipped dramatically in quality from the prelims onwards. From the final fight in the prelims onwards. The main card was terrible. We'll say it like that. The main card was terrible. It was a terrible dip in quality. I think we should just cut them all from the UFC. You know when there's a particularly good card, or like a main UFC, like a numbered UFC event, and Dana White sits down and he's like, oh, bonuses for the night, $50,000 for this guy and that guy, brilliant performance, fight of the night. You know when he's doing that? Instead of doing that, or we keep doing that. We keep doing that for the good fights, the good nights. And then when we have a night like UFCAtlanta, I think Dana White or whoever should sit down and instead of saying the bonuses for tonight is $50,000 and it's going to this guy and this guy, it should say tonight we're cutting people that put on a terrible performance. We're just cutting them from the sport right here and now. No negotiations. I think we should start doing that. Could we get a petition going for that? We've got a petition to strip John Jones. Let's get a petition to start just cutting terrible fighters that put on bad shows. Like right there and then. Like you put on a terrible, boring, stinky poo fight, you just get cut. I'm an advocate for it. It was a strong start to the card. The prelims were pretty good. It was shaping up to be a good night. It was a decent paced prelim. It was a decent pace to the prelim. Some good finishes. Then Paul Craig versus Rodolfo Bellato happens. I always say you never know what's going to happen in a Paul Craig fight. In my prediction video, I said the same thing. I even said that Paul Craig has some decent kicks, some okay-ish kicks sometimes. This is not what I meant. I mean, brilliant for Paul Craig. Got the finish. Just a shame he had to use a forbidden jutsu to do it. Watching it back though, that kick definitely hit the shoulder and didn't touch the head of Bellato. So Bellato tried to get a DQ win. He tried to have an early night. Tried to get a quick finish and go home with a DQ win. Didn't pan out for him. Bit of a stupid decision, honestly. But you know, maybe he'll get the Oscar. Maybe he'll get the Oscar. So, is Atlanta a shithole or what? Let's just get right into it. Terribly ran, terrible officials. Buckley couldn't even get into the building when he arrived at the event. Like, what the fuck's going on in Atlanta? I don't hear good things about Atlanta anyway, but like, what the fuck's going on? You think there's you think there'd be a bit more professionalism, right? I mean, that was the most dramatic thing to happen, was Buckley not being able to get in, because the rest of the main card was poopy bum bum water. It felt like watching paint dry. I dozed off during the Abdul-Malik Brundage fight. I fell asleep in like the second round and then woke up in the third to see that it was ending because of a clash of heads. So I woke up because the crowd got excited. I woke up just after the start of the finishing sequence. I think it was a right hook or a right straight that had Brundage hurt, and he's backed up against the fence and Malik's wailing on him and trying to find the shot, and then they clash heads. Like I saw all that. I woke up to see that. I was in a daze to see that, and I was like, oh, that was a pretty good knockout. That's a pretty good knockout. It was a clash of heads. Normally the UFC would just say that was a knockout, but I guess it was clear enough in the replay, or I guess because Brundage was aware enough to complain about it after the fact. They reviewed it right there and then. I was like, oh, well, we can't call this a TKO now. So they went to the scorecards. And they judged all 3 rounds. There wasn't much of a third round. I don't think there was any point of score in the third round. I'm sure it was only like a minute long, maybe. I don't even remember off the top of my head, to be fair. I don't feel like it was a particularly long third round. Maybe it was. It didn't feel like it. And so they scored the fight based on that. I think, personally, they thought this could go to a draw. And after the rest of the card being pretty stinky poo, they at least wanted something definitive. They had a no contest from Paul Craig. It was a weird night. It was a weird night, and I think they just wanted to curtail the weirdness a little bit. So they were like, "We'll just do a decision." There is the rules that there is in the rules that they'll judge the fight based on the rounds that have taken place if the majority of the fight has happened. Fair enough. So they judged it on that. So Abdul-Malik won by third round decision. Not like won by unanimous decision. He won by a third round decision. Cody Garbrandt threw away a first round finish opportunity for a photo op. Literally, like, it was right there in front of him. He dropped his opponent, and instead of jumping on him and finishing him, he was just like, "Hey, Cody's back." What is going on, man? What is going on? He lost the decision after doing all that. He was showboating all the way through round 1, got wailed on in round 2, and then had no gas in the tank for round 3, and lost the decision after all that confidence. It's just pathetic to see. It's just sad. It's just sad. Shabazian versus Petrotsky felt like a lazy game of tag. It just felt like a sparring match. Genuinely just felt like a sparring match. It was just, okay, I'm covering up, you hit me. Ho ho, you missed. My turn. Oh hey, I didn't land anything either. Your turn. Over and over again. It was just boring. Absolutely boring. Managed to stay awake through it. Managed to keep myself awake for that one. Then we had Rose Namajunas versus Miranda Maverick. To be expected. We all knew what was going to happen. It was standard enough. It was a standard Rose Namajunas decision victory. Stuck to a game plan, like I said in the prediction video. Gets the job done. Pretty standard, pretty simple. Not much more to say about it. Close to a finish a couple of times, but it's the women's divisions, and they just can't seem to get the finishes. They just, obviously they do. There are some finishes in the women's divisions, but the majority of the time there's no like drive. There's no lizard brain. They haven't got lizard brain. They haven't got the kill, blood in the water, kill. They haven't got lizard brain. I think. I think it's less of a women's MMA isn't as advanced as men's MMA, because men used to knock each other out even when it wasn't as advanced. You know, if you say it's 10 years, 20 years behind, men were still knocking, the men's divisions were still knocking each other out. I just think they haven't got enough lizard brain. That's the problem. There isn't enough reptilian brain within them. Then we've got the main event. Kamaru Usman versus Joaquin Buckley. What can I say? Buckley couldn't stop the takedowns. He couldn't get up once he was taken down. He couldn't catch Usman on the feet. He couldn't, he was trying to keep things straight up the middle. Nothing was landing. Usman was just on his bike circling around the outside and then absolutely controlling the grappling positions and taking them down and controlling them on the ground. It was a boring fight though. No disrespect to Usman. Vintage Usman performance. Not my kind of fight, not the kind of fight I enjoyed to watch. I wanted to see Buckley get a bit more done on the feet. But he just couldn't stay on his feet. He couldn't stay on his feet. And that's no fault of Usman, so congratulations to Kamaru Usman. Great comeback win after a 3-fight skid, coming back over a top contender in Buckley. Only lost to top contenders and champions, or future champions. So, pretty good comeback. Proving that he still belongs at the top of the division, in my opinion. I did say in my prediction video he should consider retiring. I still think he should consider retiring. I know it was a dominant performance. I know he didn't really look like he was in trouble at any point, but that's why he should probably retire now. Everyone always says the knees of Usman are going to be a problem. The knees of Usman are going to be a problem. I even said the knees of Usman are going to be a problem. On Twitter or X all week I've been seeing the knees of Kamaru Usman are going to be a problem. Before when he arrived at the venue, there was a shot of him stepping out of the car. It was like, damn, his knees are looking wobbly, and he's limping as he's doing his walk through the stadium. Like, it's common knowledge he's got bad knees, and obviously your knees don't get better. But he just seems to be able to fight irrespective of that. That's just how the cookie crumbles, I suppose. So yeah, I think Usman should retire, because the knees are eventually going to get to him. If the knees are really bad, if the knees are really that bad, they're going to get to him eventually. Someone's going to get to him, and I think it could be really devastating for him if his knees are just destroyed and he ends up. You can imagine he gets his knees ruined in a fight, like someone oblique kicks him and it just ruins his knee, and that's his career's over there. But he's like the champion that got like the former champion, the legend, if you will. Because I think we could say that about Kamaru Usman now. He was a dominant champion. He's fought some of the best, put on great performances against some of the best. Even in the fights he didn't win, put up a hell of a fight. So it'd just be a shame to see him go out like that. I think he should get out while he's at the top of his game. But we'll see. That concludes UFC Atlanta. My pick for worst card of the year. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like, subscribe for more. I've got some more banger content coming up in the future, and a little back catalogue for you to binge watch now if you feel like it. A couple of videos for you there. It's in the funny videos playlist. But until next time, keep your chin down and keep swinging. Peace and love. I'll see you around.